Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am covering the Venice condo market with data through October 2025, including inventory counts, total number of active listings, sales trends, and pricing, so you can make informed decisions whether you're buying or selling a condo. I'm Robin Vakai, the broker owner of Beach Bay Real Estate and a certified financial planner for the last 25 years. You're watching Suncoast South, where I share the real story of the Venice housing market, neighborhoods and communities, the cost of living, and what it's really like to live here in Venice, Florida. Now, let's get into the market data through October 2025 for Venice condos. So as of October, there were 313 condos listed for sale. Currently pending or under contract, there are 42. There are 315 active condos for sale as of today, which is November 30th. So most of the data is through month close of 10/31/25, but I'm just throwing that in there. So we have 2 more active listings than we had in October as of November 30th. I'm going to show you on screen active listings 2021 to 2025 while I run through this. So over the last 5 years, and this is just look at the columns for the month of October, you can see the inventory lows during the pandemic when we had only 50 active listings in October of 2021. And then today with 313 active listings in October 2025. So that's a huge difference, 50 to 313. And just for reference, the historical 10-year average number of condos listed for sale in October, in the month of October, is 186. So that's the long-term average over 10 years. You can see that the 2021 number at 50 was well below the norm. So current year-to-date condos listed for sale all months. So this is the average. If we took 2025 January through October, that was about 302 condos for sale throughout the year. And the long-term average of 186, that's 1.6 times the normal supply of inventory, okay? 302 is the monthly average, and typically we have 186. So that's down from the last market report on condos that I did where we had double the normal supply. Now we're at 1.6. Now, closed sales for condos in Venice. Let's take a look at this and see if the buyers are jumping back into the market. For October 2025, there were 40 condos that sold in Venice. This number is up from the October sales of the last few years, and you can see this in the chart 2021 to 2025. So in 2021, we had 50 sales. Then they started going down. 32, 32 sales. And this really coincides, keep in mind, with the price increases, right? Inventory was down, sales were down, prices went up, supply and demand. 2023, there were 31 sales. 2024, 28. And in 2025, it's bumped back up to 40 sales in the month of October. So based on those sales, we have 7.825 months of inventory, and that's just condos in Venice, if no new listings come on the market. And how they look at that is they take the total number of active listings and the number that, sold for that, let's say for October was 40. 313 for sale, 40 sold. If we divide 313 by 40, we get 7.825 months of inventory. Okay, so far for November, I'm just throwing this in there. Year-to-date condo sales are 30 sales for the month of November. And with a historic 10-year average of 40 point sales per month, we're still down from normal sales numbers. So remember, we had 40 sold in October. So far, only 30 sold through November 30th, and the long-term average is 40.7. So for November, we're down. For October, we were about even. Now let's talk about the quitters. If you watch my channel before and you watch some of my market update videos, you know that I talk about the quitters, as I call them, and they are the sellers who gave up trying to sell because they weren't getting buyers and they weren't getting offers. So these show up as different statuses, as we call it in MLS. They either canceled, withdrew, or expired. In other words, they came off the market unsold. So in the last 6 months only, May to November, November 30th, that's today, 288 Venice condos quit the market. 137 canceled. That means they canceled their listing agreement, gave up, took the home off the market. 19 were withdrawn conditionally, meaning they still had some contractual contingencies with their listing agent brokerage. Typically, that may be something like, oh, well, you have a listing agreement, but we'll let you out of it. But if it sells within this window of time, it could be the remaining time of what the listing agreement covered, you still have to pay us a fee. And then 132 completely expired. So they just ran the term of their listing agreement, whatever that was, and came off the market. So again, that's 288 condos quit the market in the last 6 months only. So now what I like to point out yet again, the people who quit or gave up or couldn't sell, 288 to the current 302 or 303 active. So they're almost equal. Let's just call it close to equal. So the quitters, some of them could have come back on the market, but my guess is most of them gave up and they're thinking they'll come back on the market during season, which is the winter months for us. So our season, as I always say, runs opposite of what season is in many parts of the country because it's warmer weather here and that's when people are here visiting and staying and looking for places. So we'll see. Listings are trending up again for Venice condos, as I just showed you. So in March of 2025, earlier this year, we hit a high of 461 condos listed for sale, which then decreased to a low of 298 in September, still higher than the normal average of 186, but inventory has come back up again to the current level, and we're at, what did I say, 315, 313 as of November 30th. So we're inching back up. Remember, it was a low of 298 in September and a high of 461, which is almost unbelievable. But I still expect some of the quitters, the people who gave up, to return to the market in season. So you will watch January through March as these listings trickle on the market, and some of it is already beginning to happen. We'll see how right I am. So the current data summary and months of inventory adjusting for the quitters. Let's see what happens. Historic 10-year condo sales for season in Venice. And season, again, is our high season is January, February, March. So during January for 10 years, covering a 10-year period, 2015 to 2024, there averaged 38 sales a month. In February, same 10-year time frame, 46 sales a month. And then for March, which turns out to always be the busiest year for closings and sales, 70 average sales per month. So 38 in January, 46 in February, 70 in March. And then that gives us a seasonal average over those 3 months of 51 condo sales monthly. So now, I'm going to show you this on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But if we have current active listings of 315 and we have sales of 40 per month, that's giving us 7.8 months of inventory. And as I've said in other videos, if only half of the quitters return, that's 144 more listings. Because I think I pointed out 288 quit the market. So current inventory of 315, adding on half of the quitters, 144, gives us 459 possible listings, which would really be very interesting. So that would put us at 11 and a half months of inventory, a strong buyer's market. And that's if sales stay flat, right? If we get 459 listings, the existing plus half of the quitters, we end up with 459. And if sales stay at the current level of 40 per month, even though it's down in November a bit, but we're looking at an average for the year of about 40 per month. That gives us 11.5 months of inventory. And scenario 2, if you say sales pick up to the seasonal norm, that roughly January through March, 51 average per month, you're looking at 459 listings, 51 sales a month, resulting in 9 months of inventory. So still a huge buyer's market for condos. So all I will say, and what I've continued to say, is if you're a condo buyer, opportunities for making a deal are certainly out there because there's still too much inventory and too few buyers. So if people are really looking to sell, they'll be looking to make a deal. So look for long days on market and continuous price reductions, which we're seeing in the market anyway. So buyers today have more negotiating power that simply wasn't possible during the pandemic buying frenzy. Now, let's talk about the median sale price for condos in October. So all these years, the data is showing for October, and I'm going to put this sales price history up on the screen so you can see it. In 2019, October median sale price was $180,000. In 2020, that went up 12.2% to $202,000. In 21, that went up to $287,500, a 42% increase. And then in 2022, that went up to $337,000 for a 17.2% increase. That total increase of those years was 87.2%. Then in 2023, we started seeing the median price of condos come down. Again, these numbers are all for the month of October, not, all year long. So just for October, so 2023, the condo price fell to $315,000. In 24, came back down to $291,500, and then down to $258,500 in 2025. So all told, condo prices in Venice are down 23.3% from the 22 peak. Now, let's talk about sale prices and days to sell. The median sale price for 2025 so far, January through October, is $272,475. The average so far is January through October the average is $267,020. So $272,475 and $267,020 are the median and average sale prices so far. Now, it's taking 70 days to sell as of October with a median list price of $269. And I'm going to say, I've said before, if you purchased in late 21 through early to mid 2023, you will likely not recover your purchase price based on what we're seeing in current sales data. And that's, of course, factoring in, selling expenses. So those folks probably overpaid, and if they are forced to sell, they will be selling at a loss, most likely. Okay, so what are the other factors that affecting condo prices in Florida, just, besides market conditions? So Florida's new condo safety laws that passed following the Surfside building collapse in Miami several years ago, which apply to multi-story buildings of 3 stories or more. So condos 3 stories or higher must now go through milestone inspections, also called structural integrity inspections, starting at 30 years of age and then every 10 years after. Condo associations 3 stories or higher must also complete a reserve study by the end of 2025, that's this year, and keep money set aside for major structural repairs. There's no more passing the buck or voting to not fund future repairs, which happened in a lot of cases. These requirements mean higher condo fees and special assessments, which are weighing on prices, especially in older multi-story buildings. So the market impact, a run-up in prices during the pandemic, coupled with higher condo fees for high-rise buildings, are impacting the condo market. If you're looking at condos in a building with 3 or more stories, always ask, has the structural or milestone inspection been completed? Is there a new reserve study? Are there any special assessments coming up? And ask for the last year and current year budget and board meeting minutes for all of 2025. And some of these questions are answered in the standard condo rider that we use and attach to all Florida contracts. So the questions on the milestone studies, that's in there. So ask to see that. Okay, key points for this market. From 2019 to 2022, October condo prices in Venice increased by 87%. Since 2022, they've pulled back from 22 to 25, 23.3% total. This is a market correction, and we'll see what happens as we continue on. Current prices are still up from 2019 levels. Remember that pricing trends and sale prices and median days on market all vary by community type, number of stories, and location. And I'm talking, of course, about condos. Condos still are showing sharper declines in prices than single-family homes in our market, which highlights affordability shifts and buyer caution. There must be more concern about condos in particular. So to wrap this up, in summary, the Venice condo market remains a buyer's market. Inventory is 1.6 times normal levels over the last 10 years, and sales are trending up and likely will continue as we enter season. And I say that as well as that I also expect listings to increase, which we've been seeing since September. Remember that 288 condo sellers gave up in the past 6 months, and some of these will return to the market. Some will not, especially if they bought during the peak pandemic years, which I've already talked about a little bit, but maybe they've now realized they will not get what they paid at peak prices. So that's the real story, not the headlines. The next few months will be telling as seasonal buyers return to the market and more listings hit. I'll keep you updated as the numbers come to fruition. I'm Robin Bakai, the broker owner of Beach Bay Real Estate and a certified financial planner for the last 25 years. You've been watching Suncoast South, and if you found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming videos on the Florida market, my Florida homebuyer education series, and also my Florida home seller education series. And I'll be posting regular market updates as numbers come up. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye for now.